Welcome back to another episode of What Are You Made Of with your boy, Mike C-Roc. Thanks for listening, guys. Today, I brought in a guy that's well-known. He's all over Clubhouse, and I just love listening to him. And he also really commands a room on Clubhouse like nobody's ever seen. And it's not even been around that long anyway, but he's one of the top guys on there. And I wanted to bring in JT Foxx to talk to you guys today. JT, welcome to the What Are You Made Of podcast, brother.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on.
So you've been on the radio a little bit too. I noticed, I saw on your bio you had a radio show. Do you still have that syndicated radio?
No. I funny enough, I was on syndicated, started off self-syndicated, and then things I would just get all my ads and then sell them and made more money, and then figured that was more work than anything. But then I figured I just self-syndicate, kind of like what Rich Limbaugh did. So I was on like 8 or 9 stations, and I just got bored of it. And then one week I played one show, and I played the same show 3 weeks in a row, and the ratings kept going up and people kept saying how great it was of a show. And I was like, what's the point of doing a radio show every week? So I just stopped it, and then just, it just became a bit time consuming, ironically enough. And then podcasts kind of took off, that you don't need to be on mainstream radio. I mean, I can't remember last time I even turned on the radio, to be honest with you. So
yeah. Well, let's ask the question that we always ask our guests when they first come on. What are you made of, JT? You can answer.
Well, first of all, loyalty. That's the first thing. I think it's the most important quality. You're either loyal or you're not. Loyalty is black or white. And most people are loyal to the opportunity. And that's to me. So 100%. I got an insane work ethic. I don't do my best. I do whatever it takes. And every single day I strive to become a better person today than I was yesterday, and a better person tomorrow than I will be today. And as long as I do that, and I push myself beyond my comfort levels, right? It's all about increasing the density of risk, right? You're in high and you want to expand. And that's what I'm made of. So, I want to succeed, as a famous quote, as bad as I want to breathe. And that's in my veins. It's the fire. It's the chase. It's what we got to do. And I'll fight and I'll claw. And that's how I am. That's what I'm made of.
I love it, man. Hey, where's that come from, though? Let's dig deep. Where, give us a little bit of background of where you came from growing up. And
I have a sad story too. It's like, I was broke, came from Canada, moved from America, $974, went down to negative 34,000, sleep on an office couch, eating ramen noodles, showering at the gym, down to negative 34,000, and then all of a sudden I did my first deal in real estate. That's how I started in Chicago. And, made 74,000. My second deal made 150. And then, to make a long story short, I did 500 deals in 5 years without using my own money. I was a millionaire at 24, multi-millionaire at 25. 10 million at 28. And obviously now I'm like extremely high net worth, but that's kind of how it all started. Just with started real estate. Now I got over 60 different companies and brands all over the world. We're in 54 countries. We have clients in 104. So, just the average, day-to-day stuff.
That's why I didn't read your bio, because I know you're better at it than I am. So
yeah, I hate the bios. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what bio you want. I don't even like,
yeah, it's just something to put in. Yeah,
but it is. It's like, JT Foxx has been featured on magazine covers all over the world. He is passionate about helping people achieve their dream. He's also a philanthropist who loves getting involved with children. It's like, it's so boring. Like, I hate it. That's why I don't let any MCs introduce me on stage when I speak at, 5,000, 10,000 people. I just play the video, because it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, I agree, man. So what was the first deal? Was it a commercial deal, or where did you make?
No, just a residential home, buy and flip.
So you were a real estate agent, or you did a buy and flip?
No, real estate investor.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, but what was the switch, though? What was the switch from all the struggle that you had, and then the switch to absolutely turn it on? Because you weren't.
But part of it was luck. You know what I mean? You just I put up some marketing, which I'd never done, and first piece I put out, I got a call, 1 for 1, ironically, right? Which was crazy. They called me, went there, and got the deal done, which was just by accident, really. And I was at the right time at the right place, and so it kind of worked out. And then you got a second one, and then second one, and so it's just kind of pivot. Nothing was working. I was lowballing everybody. It's interesting too, because if it didn't do these little minor pivots, I don't think I'd be where I am today. It's not, I had a speech impediment growing up. So people now see me oh my God, they always think I was like this, and people forget. And I've actually recorded every one of my coaching sessions from broke to where I am today. Literally, people go to MillionaireFlix, they can pick it up there. But everything. Like you can, like my success has been documented. Like you can listen to the coaching session I did 2 days ago and the one 10 years ago. And you tell me if how different I am, just the way I think, the way I talk. And part of this too is like, you got to sharpen your axe, you got to shine your diamond. And, but more importantly for me, I just had to, become a different person, because the person I was now only got me to where I was. And at every level, first 100,000, first million, first 10 million, first 100 million, you got to press the reset button, because whatever got you here is never going to get you there.
Right. And then comfortability and complacency, man, that's gets a lot of people too when they do have that success. And you could have, after your first couple of deals, when you started rolling, you could have been like, oh man, I got some money now and I can take the foot off the gas pedal a little bit. But what keeps you just pushing hard, man? What is it? There's something in you.
Well, I mean, their insides are filled with three things, right? You have fear, you have dark side, and you have fire. The fear is what prevents us from taking risk or doing different things. The dark side is something messed up our past that for some reason is frozen. It's like permafrost. And if we put good soil on top of bad soil, it doesn't grow, right? It remains in that permafrost space. So until it dethaws. For me, it was probably my parents. No one said I'm proud of you. My whole life, people made fun of me. That was probably what that was. And then when I shaved even my first 10 million, it didn't do anything. I realized that because all the people said didn't believe in me, still didn't believe in me. And all the people that had more money than me couldn't care less because they had more money. So I realized that I was trying to prove to everyone, I just needed to prove myself. You needed like that self-love to be able to like say, you know what? I just like that chip and anger. And mind you, that chip got me into 10 million.
Yeah.
My philosophy has always been, I mean, before the pandemic, I was on the road 324 days a year, conquering countries and doing amazing stuff. And the art of going to a different country where no one knows who you are, and they're going to be skeptical, and you're not from there, different language barriers. And I would go in there and do well. Places like Kuwait, like who'd have thought I would have done my own thing in Kuwait City, like, the Gulf War. And then I'm in Kuwait. That was a cool moment. Dominating 11 German cities, which no Americans had gone there and made it happen. Or going to Israel, like I did UAE, Turkey, and Israel, and then Paris, 4 days. Like, who would have thought that would even be remotely possible? And that's my point. I always said, you know what, I kept pushing because you never know when it can end. And the funny thing is the pandemic ended speaking. I mean, it may come back, may not come back the way it is. So people always say, why do you keep pushing stuff? Because you're never going to end. And of course, the worst case scenario is the pandemic. Nobody would ever thought that it would just like, it was never even like a worst case scenario. Like, what if there's a pandemic? Like, no one ever thought about that, right? Because there had been something since the Spanish flu. So, it's just a complete pivot, a complete, 1080. So I'm proud that I pushed that way too. Plus, if you don't do anything, I get bored. So
that's the point, right? I mean, so first of all, I want to hit on one point there. When, like, you're trying to prove it to yourself now, that's the mission now, right? You're still trying to prove it to yourself, or are you done past that?
No, I don't know if I have anything. Like, I have so much money now. So like, I can get anything I want. I have anything I want. I think it's just the game. It's the hunt, the next deal, the next company, the next thing.
Well, what level was it? What level was it then when you felt like you had made it to that point where you felt like now it's just the hunt? It's not about proving it to myself anymore. Where was that level?
I don't know. Like, it's hard to say, because then, like, if you just focus on your goals and where you want to go, you don't really worry about that anymore. So, I mean, I guess you look at your bank account and you're like this, but money doesn't drive me. Like, for example, I can make like $5 million in a day, let's say, on a deal, or 4 million or 1 million or whatever, right? And it lasts for about 30 seconds. I'm like, all right. But if I lose the deal, it'll bother me until the next deal. Like, it'll eat me alive. So
right.
Losing eats me alive. Winning does nothing for me. So it can't be about the money, right? Because winning doesn't do it for me. Yep. Winning doesn't matter how many deals I have, or I take over a company, I turn around, because that's what I'm expected to be. Like, I'm expected to close the deal. I'm expected to turn it around. I'm expected to crush it. So it doesn't do anything. Like, when I go on stage, and they call me the #1 platform sales speaker in the world, I go in and I sell more sometimes than every speaker combined. So there's an expectation. But if I don't do well, like my last speech was March 5th with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? In Edmonton. That room was cold. Like you could tell, like, the vibe wasn't, like the Arnold crowd,
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm talking about, the muscle people, right? And they were.
Did you say that just because my arm showed in the picture all of a sudden? Did you say that what you said?
Yeah,
you told me to put my shirt on one day, so in that picture.
Suit. unless you're not in your bathing suit. So there's but so I didn't do as well. I did okay. But I didn't do as well. And that's my last speech. Now I was like mentally drained, but not physically. I was like in a way, the pandemic was, I kept saying like, I need to quit this to focus on bigger things. Right. But you keep saying it, but it's hard when like what you're doing is working.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, you're still scoring high production points. You're the best in your game. And you're thinking about walking away. That's hard. It's hard as a competitor. And that's the thing, sometimes in business, people have something that works and they want to do something else. And so I think when something works, you double down until like it just can't go anywhere. So, I'm still thinking about, I could have done way better, and I'm really bothered by it. And I can't get back on a stage right now. And if I got back on a stage tomorrow, like there has to be rust, because there's a science to speaking on big stage. Like speaking is not one thing, but when you speak and you sell, that's a whole different ballgame.
And the nonverbal has a lot. Nonverbal has a lot to do. Nonverbal has a lot to do with it too, right?
No, I don't know. Like to
what
me,
makes
it's
you
just
good? Like what makes you good? What makes you the best?
I'm quick. I'm quick-witted. I read people very well. I know what is entertaining and what's not. So I have this kind of like notion of like, I know what makes good TV, as they say. I get it. I get the game. I get what the end result is.
So I want to touch on the Clubhouse incident where I felt like, man, I was like, man, I'm glad I'm not JT right now. When you talk and you're trying, you have good intentions, and people, we're getting in the Clubhouse where we're around a lot of people that sometimes we're not around every day or whatever the case is. But, that had to be, obviously you handled it. You attacked it. You showed up. But can you talk about that and what it's like to be in a situation where like you feel like
we'll put it in the context. So I was in a room and woman comes up and she has lupus, right? And I need a mentor. So I was like, I'll mentor you. Like I just stepped in to give, right? And then somebody else kind of like jumped in, right? And then all of a sudden, like I made a joke. I'm like, well, who do you want, me or her? Like a joke. This is exactly what I said. And then someone started yelling, and I'm like, oh, whoa, calm down. I was joking, right? So then I have a phone call. So I pick up the phone, right, on 3 minutes, right? And my phone was blown up. My DMs are blown up. Like, get back in here. I come back. They're all yelling. You move me to the audience. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was on the phone. Because, this app, you can move whoever. You can't prove who moved anybody down, right? Yeah. And then, then I'm like, all right, we're cool. I'll follow you. You follow me. You know what I mean? And then, 10 minutes later, there's a room like with like about me. And inside my name, but then it gets to 2,100 people. And then and they're just all start talking on the worst. I cut people off. Like, what do you expect? You have 60 people on stage. Nobody can see the pages. You press the little mic button. What do you think is going to happen? Right?
Right.
Like, what do you think is going to happen? Right. So then it's like, you cut people off and stuff like that. And I sat there for 2.5 hours and just took it. And no matter how much sorry I did, it didn't make a difference. That's why I said people. Like, we used to live in a thing that if people make a mistake, and by the way, I have a recording. Someone actually recorded the thing. So I was shocked. They sent it to me, right? I never said what they said they did. It was general, because how am I supposed to know whose voices are, right? But, I apologize. You take it because, you think it's going to be disarming. But people didn't want me they want to be canceled. That's really what they wanted me. They wanted me canceled. And then they probably upset that I just got back into the room afterwards and did my thing. And now I have more followers. And then a lot of people unfollow me. Not a lot of people, but some of them unfollowed me. And so funny enough, now they all follow me again. They all go to my room. So when you get 15 minutes of attention, right? But that's not the attention that's going to monetize. So you got a lot of pity follows. So I went back and did my thing and grinded away, and it was a little dicey for a week, but now I've had one of the largest increase of followings in the last week. So I'm up there in the less than the 0.01% followers on there, just by adding value, because we all start unknown there. And so I tell people, start unknown, finish unforgettable. So, some people just like drama. Like, it's just,
Right. And, and is that attention just as good as any attention though? I mean, at the end of the day, it's better than no attention, right?
I'm not a fan of that. Like, it's not the type of thing that I want. Some people will revel it. I mean, some people, they'll say certain things to get attention. To be honest with you, the world's most successful people don't do that. Right. So I'd rather get different kind of attention. If I don't get the attention, I'd rather not, because in the age of Googleability, where people Google can make up stuff. I mean, I've had stalkers and put some of the worst stuff. And so, that's your brand sometimes, and people don't Google positivity, they Google negativity.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I loved how you bounced back. I mean, look, I don't know the whole story. Like I said, I wasn't even there, but I'm involved here listening. And I'm like, dude, I know you can't win in that conversation. At the end of the day, you apologize. You just can't win.
Yeah. But even when you apologize, then say like, okay, how do we solve this problem? Right.
Problem solvers. Right. Yep.
Right. Mansplaining. There was just bitching, but it doesn't make a difference. By the way, their followers are still low. It doesn't make a difference, except now with my follower count, it just, and then like, I do really tough coaching in the room, like tough, because, as the world's number one wealth of business coach, like, man, I just break people down as to show the toughness. Right. And people are like, ooh, so everyone's not complaining about my style of coaching, but then don't come in my room. And my room, like on 9 o'clock Eastern time, is packed. It's packed.
Right. Well, so what's your intention though? What's your intention? Is your intention to be a dick?
There's a difference between dick and having the truth. Right. By the way, did you ever talk to somebody that's in love with their business idea, that no matter what you tell them, or someone who thinks they know better than they are?
Yep.
Like there's some people come on, they're coachable. You can tell they're coachable. You talk to them and you know what I mean? There's some people that just know it all. They have this attitude and everything else like that. Right. So it's not the intention of it's being direct. So people like mistake it, number one, confidence with arrogance, and they confuse the truth with like being like an asshole. Like your idea is not good. Blah, 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 blah. Your idea is not good. You know what I mean? Or you know what? How much money did you make? 300,000. No, it's a round number. Well, how much did you make? 220. Well, why'd you say 300? Well, I rounded up. Well, you rounded by 80, right? What's your profit?
Right.
250. How can you have just said 250? Like, by the way, I don't know my numbers. You should know your business. I know. Like, you see what I mean? So it's like disarming, right? But some people have been programmed to argue. They're in love with their own idea. And that's why I attract a lot of high net worth clients that I coach or do business, or friends are, because I was just offered a TV deal, or about to. And because, people want that bluntness. Simon Cowell, Chef Gordon Ramsay, Steve Jobs, whether like people like President Trump or not, like not to get it political, but clearly the man got elected, right? And you can say whatever they want. He got elected, right? And it's, and people say, I hate Donald Trump. Well, there's still 70 million people that vote for him, right?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big thing.
It's cutting the bullshit, dude. Just get to the point. Like I'm not a very patient person.
Like I don't really do small talk, or everyone wants to tell their sad story. Like, has anybody going to come here and tell you the sad story? And then you're going to say to them, wow, I'd like to partner with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like I here's the thing too. No one cares how good your story is. They care about their own. WIFM, what's in it for me? Right. And like successful people, like they don't really want to know about your sad story. Everybody's got their own problems. Now, when you become successful, I think the sad story is the counterstrike, right? Someone goes, you don't understand, this went through me. You're like, really? Let me tell you my story.
Yeah.
And it's much more effective than leading with the story. And a lot of times people live the story because they want people to feel sorry for you. Right? So they want to, like, they're like, oh my God. And people cry. Like after you make people all emotional, nobody's like, I want to buy. They're like, they give you a standing ovation, and that doesn't pay bills.
So break down the perfect pitch to me. When somebody comes to you, what's the perfect structure that you want to hear that'll have you get hard and be like, yeah, let's go.
All right. So here's what I need. Here's what I want. Here's how much I want. Here's when I'm going to get it back. And here's when I'm going to get it back. What's different about this? And how much money or security or, like what's your skin in the game? No, not always. I'll invest in deals and there's no skin, but I want to know what's their skin in the game. Now, if they have zero, it doesn't mean I won't do it, but that's what I kind of want to know. And then I'll be like, okay, how did it start? If I'm interested, right? Like someone says, I want $1 million for 10% of my company, and we haven't made any money yet. That's just like, next, I don't care about the story. It doesn't matter. Just wasted my time.
Yeah. Now, who are the people that mentor you now?
I have 4. One is George Ross, a celebrity apprentice judge, been in my life for 10 years. Is my retired from working for, you don't want to say his name anymore because you never know who. You just mention his name and people like freak out. But he's been with me, 93 years old, man, sharp as can be.
Yeah.
Another one is Hugh Hilton from the Hilton family. He's a fantastic man, done some big deals. Another one, we call him Tycoon X. It's probably one of the most powerful real estate business guy in Chicago, but didn't want me to give his name publicly because he actually talks to my clients. So I created this Tycoon X, and everybody knows him as that, ironically enough.
Cool.
And then I have Mike Slade, who's Bill Gates' best friend, was Steve Jobs' best friend, worked at Microsoft and Apple, worked at Next. I love the stories about Jobs and Gates. I mean, they just, really inspire me.
Now for your life now, like, do you look around when you wake up in the morning sometimes and like, can't believe you got this far? Or did you always have a big thought and big belief?
I'm desensitized to it, like I have a big house. I've got all this stuff, but I don't like stuff like that. Doesn't, like, I get up, I do my thing, I come down, I put my game face on, and that's what I do. So I'm just very focused on that. Like I can afford a jet easily. I look at it from a cost perspective. Like if I fly to you, it's 3 hours there, 3 hours back. So call it $5,000 an hour. That's 30,000, right?
Yep.
Now you're going to say, well, your time is worth more, but I can spend $1,000 and I got to go early, but maybe on the plane, I'll do some work or whatever. But the point is, I'm not going to make $30,000 meeting you, at least not the first meeting. Right.
Shit.
So
yeah, right, dude. You don't know me well enough.
No, but it doesn't matter.
I'm just messing with you.
Even though, like, it doesn't matter, like the psychological factor,
Yep.
or even if I made 50,000 with you, well, I only made 20 because it cost me 30.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You see, so it's that psychological barrier, because I'm very frugal, right? I'm very frugal. I'm very careful. I make a lot of money, but I'm extremely careful because I don't want to, like, I see a lot of people blow it, what I mean? And I don't like blowing my money. Now, each his own for people that have it. But I talk to a lot of very successful people, some at my level, some higher, and they say they can't tend to not to look at the bill because it doesn't make sense. If they said so basically take a look at it, it's going to cost me $3 million a year to fly my jet, right? That's so they kind of take a look at it rather than on a per basis. And so, I mean, it's cool, but like even if I had 500 million, I don't know if I'd do it because it's not like, to me, it doesn't. And also to a lot of my travel is international too, which even a whole new level of money to that. You know what I mean?
So what's your targets now for you, man? What's coming up for you? What are you aiming for? What do you want to accomplish? How old are you, by the way?
I'm 40.
40. Okay. So going forward, I mean, I'm 44. I just hit like a midlife crisis. I'm trying to go bigger than I ever thought before. What's on your plate, man?
I mean, billionaire. Probably, and then I'm just gonna give it all away and then make another one. So that's kind of always said. It's just like the number of the game. I mean it's not as important.
Wait a minute. You just said probably. Do you believe in how you talk? It matters. Like you're gonna get there saying probably.
Because here's the thing too. If you focus on the money, it's not gonna come, right? It never does because you're focused on the money, right? If you focus on taking care of your clients, they'll take care of your success rate and your profit. Like the more I have, like, crypto mining, like I have a lot of stuff. And I mean,
well, that could help. Definitely. I mean, but you don't look at, it's not about money, but it's a number, it's a target, it's a way to measure. And you don't have that, like,
like Forbes 400. It's just like, that's all, like I'm in awe of Elon Musk that he made 125 billion, nothing to do with the money, but that he made 125.
Right.
It's like scoring 125 points in a game. It's like insane.
Right.
Some people have trouble making $125 a day.
Now, do you feel like do you feel like you've made it now though? Like if you were like from a kid and looking back?
I mean, okay. So compared to everybody else, of course, compared to Elon Musk, I haven't done anything.
Right. But for you though, for simply JT made it.
Yeah, of course I've made it. I'm best of the world at certain things. So like out of all these people on the planet, I know that's a great accomplishment. And I earn 99.9999999% of everyone on this planet. But I don't want to be satisfied. I take a look, like Elon Musk went to space or sent people to space, built like, that's cool. Like you did something, and maybe that's something else but that's not in my DNA. Elon Musk will work on two or three companies and be like 100% in. I'm more like a Richard Branson where like I basically look, there's fish over there and I'm going to go where the fish are and just pick up a bunch of companies or a bunch of real estate deals and then grow from there. Like I would be too bored just going one thing.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah, I like it. So I have a concept that I talk about all the time. It's framed. I mean, there's no new concepts out there, but I just use this to keep me pushing and feeling like I'm unstoppable. And I think you feel like that too. If I do speak for you, but turning everything that comes your way that normally would stop people, slow them down, whatever the case is, and converting it into rocket fuel for their future. I'd love to hear what that concept of becoming unstoppable, the rocket fuel concept means to you and what it's meant to you in your business and life.
Well, I mean, to me, as the minute you turn your weakness into your strength is when you're growing. Your strength got you to where you are here today. If you take a look at your bank account, whatever it is, whether it's negative or positive, that's your effort that you put in. And if you want to take it to the next level, whatever you're not good at, that's the clog in your business, right? And so, as we said, the fear, the fire, the dark side, the fire, if it burns, that's something you can't put inside or you can't take out. You either have it or you don't. And if the fire burns bright enough, it will fire away the fear. And then the dark side will constantly be a struggle no matter what. Because internally, we always have something, you know what I mean? We always struggle internally. And I think the struggle is what makes it real, right? I don't think you're ever all at peace because there's always more you can do. There's always, you know, intricacies in your brain that you kind of put together.
And where like challenges right now for JT? What are your challenges or insecurities right now?
I have none. If you fear nothing, they fear you. I fear absolutely nothing anymore. You know, I used to be worried about what haters think. You know, some people might, you know, listen to this and say, oh, JT's this and JT's that. And like, I'll say, whoever's trying to bring you down is below you. Yeah. Right. I have billionaires that do business with me. I coach some of the world's most successful people. Like, to me, I look up for opinion, right? I don't need anybody's validation. What other people think about you is none of your business. Right.
Yep. Yep.
And if people want to criticize me, I'd be like, okay, well, why are you on this show? Why are you being interviewed?
Right. Right. And how about your weaknesses that you need to work on?
I don't really have too many weaknesses in business anymore because I work on them.
How about in life? How about in life? JT Foxx. Because listen, here's the thing. People in Clubhouse are going to listen to this.
I don't think I have like necessarily a weakness because, you know, like I have no patience. I don't think it's a weakness. It's the way I am.
Yeah.
I can't. I like people straight to the point.
But that could be an asset though, right? I mean,
of course,
to me is an asset.
I don't. You know what? I'm like super loyal. Like there's different JTs. There's JT on stage, funny, entertaining, blah blah blah. Hard. There's JT in business. It's very hard. Like I'm just like I don't mess around. Like I'm the guy in the room where people do get intimidated in business, right? Like there was a deal. We're working on $17 million just like this morning, and like the guy's trying to back out or something like that. And I was like gonna get on another podcast. Which, by the way, this is only the third podcast this year that I've done in the last year because I've been like,
thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, because I like you, and just I say no all the time, right? And you know, when I learned to like, how do I say yes? I think I started saying no too much to everything. So I'm now trying to work on to say yes so that I can see new things, new opportunity. It just makes my schedule a lot busier. But you know, on the other side, it's kind of that story of, you know, the 17 million, I got on the phone and just like I let the guy talk and I just went off, but I did it on purpose. I didn't know because I was mad. Like I played a role. Right. And I said certain things and, you know, stuff like that. And then I took it back, pushed a little bit, take it back, pushed a little bit, take it back. And then I saved the deal.
Now, last question before I get the audience to know how to connect with you and engage with you further. Does emotion belong in business?
Nope. Absolutely not. That's when mistakes happen. Machines don't make mistakes. People do. And most of the mistakes are made by people. People suck. If you really think about it, like take a look at every enemy or hater or non-believer in your life. There's someone that you once helped, some shape or form, right? Think about all the people disappointed, business partner, family didn't do any money. You lent money to somebody, didn't pay you back. Someone stabbed you in the back. Someone tried to steal your business. It's always people. That's why a lot of successful people are a very tight-knit circle. Who you're hanging around with is who you become. It's time for people to start firing the negative people in their lives.
Love it, man. A lot of broken people. I grew up with a lot of broken people. I'm still working to build people, man. And it's a never-ending game, but I love it. So thank you, JT, for coming on. How can the audience engage with you further or follow you?
Yeah, I mean, they go to my Instagram and they can send me a message what they thought. Also, too, every day I do 3 to 5 coaching for free, one-on-one. It's one of the highest paid business coaches in the world, but I still, at the end of the day, and always end my day with giving back 3 to 5 people. So people want that. Or they go to MillionaireFlix and pretty much get everything I've ever done for like $50. So 7,000 hours of content, 58 courses. So it's my way of giving back. You know, it's funny because I used to sell one course for 5,000. Now I'm like, take everyone for 50. So different world we live in. So just want to give and serve. And I appreciate C-Roc. You got a great show. You have a great heart, but more importantly, I'm on your show because I think you're the real deal. So, and let's just say I probably said no 100 times this year alone. So
that means a lot, man. Thank you. Thank you. And if you ever need anything, reach out. I don't know what I could do for you, but I look forward to learning more from you in the future, JT. Thank you for coming on the show. Guys, you've been listening to What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy, Mike C-Roc. Thank you so much for listening. Go get that Rocket Fuel book at MikeCroc.com/book, MikeCroc.com/book. Until next time, be good.